Definitely freezing rain in the forecast there. We'll expand the view and show you the extent of that. That does include areas from Boone to Jefferson, all the way along the Interstate 77 corridor as you head into Virginia, across the Charlotte Metro. Just some areas of very light rainfall, but it's going to be a steady rain throughout the day, all the way through tomorrow. In fact, looking back to the southwest, more showers in that forecast. Not expecting any major system as far as storms, but certainly the potential for rain on and off all day. Now, these are the totals we're going to see between now and Sunday. You can see almost 3 inches up there in the Boone area. Hickory tops out about 2.5. And for the Charlotte area, well over 2 inches of rain as it continues again today in the mountains. Finally breaking out of the low 30s as we get to about 1 o'clock. I would say early afternoon, but until that time, we're going to see freezing rain with temperatures around 30, 31 degrees in the mountains. For the Charlotte metro area, the Piedmont, the upstate, temperatures today upper 30s to near 40 degrees. We should be in the mid 50s this time of the year. Nowhere near that today, but we do have some major changes over the next several days. So widespread rain today, showers tomorrow, break away from that on Friday, and then for the upcoming weekend, showers.
Adams with the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, who you'll hear from in just a moment. Today we're going to be talking about something that is important to all of us: combating crime and keeping our letter carriers and customers safe and ensuring the security of the mail. At the Postal Service, our mission is to connect people across the country, no matter where they live. We take this job seriously, but lately, mail theft and other crimes have threatened this connection. That's why the Inspection Service works tirelessly to combat crimes through the mail, and they've launched efforts including Project Safe Delivery, a joint initiative between USPS and the Postal Inspection Service to keep the mail safe and secure for everyone. Today, Inspector Adams will share updates on the latest efforts by the Inspection Service to combat phishing, smishing, and brushing, as well as on how Project Safe Delivery is making a difference, and the steps we're taking to make the delivery of mail and packages safer. Their work is making a big impact, and I'm excited for you all to hear about it. As I mentioned, we also want to inform the public about some of the latest scams that can affect our postal customers. By spreading this knowledge, we are helping our customers avoid falling victim to these scams. Before I hand it over to Inspector Adams, I want to highlight how this program fits into our bigger plan. The Deliver for America 10-year plan is a $40 billion investment to improve and modernize the Postal Service for the future. This plan isn't just about delivering mail faster and more reliably. It's about building trust, binding the nation together, keeping our employees safe, and delivering world-class service to every home and business in America. The Postal Service is unique in that we have our own in-house law enforcement and security, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. Now, if you have questions on anything outside of what we discussed today, I'll be here after and happy to record your questions and follow up with you. But at this moment, I would like to turn it over to Inspector Jessica Adams.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here this morning and taking your time. This is a very important matter, as Mr. Bobinger had said. My name is Jessica Adams, and I am the Public Information Officer for the United States Postal Inspection Service here around the Charlotte. As an organization, the United States Postal Inspection Service is charged with protecting the integrity of the nation's mail. We are the oldest federal law enforcement agency, and in 2025, later this year, we will be celebrating our 250th year protecting the U.S. mail, the Postal Service, its customers, and employees. As he was mentioning earlier, we gathered to let our consumers know and customers know about some scams that we have seen an uptick the past holiday season and that are on the rise. So the first ones I would like to talk about is the smishing and phishing scams that we have been seeing. Smishing and phishing is either going to be a text or an email message that you receive about a package delivery saying that it's been undelivered and the subject line will read delivery failure notification. Please know that this text message, this email, did not come from the U.S. Postal Service. The U.S. Postal Service will never send an email or a text to you unsolicited. And also, the only way you're going to get a text first is if you go to that website and you put in that parcel tracking number. Again, the Postal Service will not send you an unsolicited text. The text messages that the Postal Service sends you will not include a link, so please do not click on a link. The perpetrators are trying to get you to do that to gather information. And again, keep your personal information safe. We always like to tell people to keep your personal information, treat it like cash. And then lastly, if you do receive one of these smishing or phishing texts or emails, if you could please report that to us, and you can do that one of two ways. You can either send an email to spam@uspis.gov, again, spam@uspis.gov, or you can text to 7726. Again, that's 7726. Another growing concern that we are seeing at the Postal Inspection Service is what's referred to as a brushing scam. This scam is when a customer will receive a package or an unsolicited package, usually something lower in value or some household good or item. These packages are often sent online by a large retailer or a third party, and these third parties will use compromised personal information to create fake transactions, inflating product reviews, or sale rankings. Again, if you have or receive one of these packages, it's a brushing scam, make sure to follow up and report that to the Postal Inspection Service as well. In addition to phishing, smishing, and brushing, Friday is Valentine's Day. It's right around the corner, and I just want to draw your attention to work that our organization has undertaken to combat these romance scams. A lot of the romance scams begin online, and they can escalate quickly. So just to remind the consumers a couple ways to keep safe if they're in an online relationship. Your partner will end up asking you or requesting you to send some kind of money, valuable gift card in the mail that could lead to devastating financial and also emotional loss to the victim. It can be very serious. So if you are on a relationship or you have an online relationship, just be wary if that a person avoids meeting you in person, or if they always refuse to do those video calls with you. Never send valuables, money, gift, or any of your finance personal information to this person. And then again, be suspicious of requests for secrecy or any urgent financial help. These should be red flags to you out there so you don't fall victim to these scams. Notifying the public of these scams is important. Like I said, we've been seeing an uptick in these scams. So again, try to protect yourself, protect your information, and follow those tips. With the Postal Service, we also are here to talk about Project Safe Delivery. This is an initiative that launched in May of 2023 in partnership with the Postal Service. It is an initiative to enhance employee safety and protect customers' mails and packages. This mission has never been more important. Since May of 2023, the Project Safe Delivery has resulted in a 27% decrease in letter carrier robberies across the nation, and it has increased the number in mail theft and letter carrier robberies to the number of 2,400. We've made 2,400 arrests relating to mail theft and letter carrier robberies since the beginning of Project Safe Delivery. There are 4 key components to Project Safe Delivery. The first one is education and outreach, and that's why we thank you for being here today and spreading our education and outreach. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service has reached over 160 million addresses delivered by more than 34,000 post offices. These programs empower residents and businesses with the tools to protect their mail from the identity frauds like we've been talking about, the smishing and brushing, how to keep their mail safe from the mail theft perpetrators, and educate the public on how to do that, tips on how to protect themselves. Also, with our education and outreach, we've also wanted the public to know that we have increased our monetary rewards for information on those that have committed postal crimes. The first one is robbery of a letter carrier. If anyone has any information about a robbery of a letter carrier, that reward amount has been increased from $50,000 to $150,000. And then second, the reward amount for anyone having any information leading to someone that has been part of mail theft or committed a postal crime has increased from $10,000 to $100,000. I also just want to draw your attention to on our social media platforms, such as Facebook, X, YouTube, and Instagram. The United States Postal Inspection Service has a new segment that is referred to as Wanted Wednesdays. So every Wednesday you can go to our social media platforms, give us a follow, and you will either see surveillance video footage of one of these incidents or award information that we seek the public's assistance on helping us find the suspects. Additionally, we also use our social media channels and website to amplify our education to the public and provide resources where needed. So please follow us. The second key aspect with Project Safe Delivery is the coordination with our law enforcement partners. We work closely with our federal, state, and local law enforcement partners to amplify our efforts. In 2024 alone, we made more than 1,200 arrests for mail theft. With this coordination with local law enforcement, Project Safe Delivery has also completed 12 targeted, what they call surges, across the nation in high crime areas. This allows us for a concentrated effort to address mail theft and robberies of letter carriers. The result of these surges has resulted in more than 1,300 investigative actions, which have supported dozens of arrests in these areas. Partnership with our law enforcement partners have created a force multiplier effect, enhancing the program's effectiveness and outreach. By deterring theft and providing safer access for customers, this initiative has reinforced trust in the United States Postal Service as a reliable and secure mail carrier. The third key aspect that is in Project Safe Delivery is going to be the technological innovation. As an organization, we utilize advanced forensic technology to track and analyze criminal activity, which has helped us solve cases faster and with greater accuracy. The continued development of data analytics and its application to mail theft and those crimes associated, such as financial crimes and violent crimes, of postal employees is critical in identifying and emerging trends associated with these crimes, gathering that intelligence that we need to allocate and then deploy those resources where needed across the country. Using that cutting edge technology and us as postal inspectors investigating these crimes, we do utilize the dark web and encrypted message applications to find the perpetrators and then solve these crimes. And the fourth aspect of the Project Safe Delivery initiative, is public awareness on fraud and prevention. Project Safe Delivery emphasizes actionable steps for customers to protect their mail. So for mail theft prevention, if we all do our part and make sure that we promptly picked up our mail when it's delivered, please don't leave any checks or any financial documents in your receptacles overnight, and make sure to keep out, for our letter carriers, we all can collectively keep this mail system secure. Additionally, with the public awareness on fraud prevention, we did want to draw your attention to today is the use of counterfeit postage. We caution those about counterfeit stamps and urge our consumers and customers to purchase postage from official USPS vendors. Purchasing outside of these official and established vendors could render your package or gifts returned to sender for counterfeit postage. A large red flag if you are purchasing stamps is that normally you will not see a 30 or 40% discount. Sometimes there might be a minute discount from those larger retailers, but again, they're going to have that worked out with a pre-sale agreement with the United States Postal Service. If in doubt, you don't know if you're buying your postage from a vendor or one of these USPS vendors, you can always find that information on our website. In closing, here in Charlotte, the United States Postal Inspection Service and the Project Safe Delivery Initiative has made a difference in our community. We have collaborated and worked with our local law enforcement partners, such as the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, Concord Police Department, our law enforcement agencies here in Gaston County, to create a force multiplier. We have worked closely with our U.S. Attorney's Office in the Western District, and just late last fall, they did a press release highlighting some of the significant work our postal inspectors are doing in combating these postal crimes. Project Safe Delivery, launched in communities across the country, is designed to deter theft and provide safer access for customers. As we look further into 2025, our goals remain ambitious. By the end of this year, we aim to enhance and further our technological capabilities to combat these postal crimes. The commitment represents a broader vision for the Postal Service, a trusted, innovative, and secure institution that every American can clearly rely on. For over 2 centuries, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service has been a cornerstone of connection for our nation, delivering to every home and business, urban centers, rural landscapes, and everything in between. Protecting this legacy is not just our job, but we take it very seriously, and it's our responsibility. I want to thank the people for coming today, for listening, and thank the people of Charlotte for the exceptional commitment to excellence. Through their dedicated work, we can better ensure that the mail remains a secure and reliable part of the American life. And again, we just urge that every day you see your letter carriers day in and day out. They are an important part of the community. Help us keep them safe, and if you see something, please notify us. Let me leave you with a reminder that with Valentine's Day on Friday, there are still scams, imposter scams, the romance scams I spoke of earlier. Just keep yourself safe, stay alert online, and don't get catfished. At this time, we'll be happy to answer any questions that we have. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Austin with WCC Charlotte. I would like to go back to the scams kind of at the very top. You talked about an increase in scams. What does the figures look like? Is that like 5 to 6 scams, or is it like 5 to 3,000? It's a very different way of looking at it.
Oh, right. I don't have specific numbers. I just know from the Postal Service side of things, we have seen an uptick in the smishing, the text messages that you all have probably received at Christmas time saying that your package was redelivered or not deliverable. I don't have specific numbers, but we have seen an increase of those text messages and those brushing scams and phishing scams.
Gotcha. And obviously we kind of just wrapped up, I would say, like the biggest holiday, which is like Christmas, and like, you know, that kind of era. I know we're going to be going to Valentine's Day, which again, that is the same kind of premise of sending gifts potentially. When it looks at this last Christmas, the Christmas before, or kind of 2 big holidays, the uptick, was it really dramatic between, you know, the phishing scams from the smishing and whatever we all just talked about?
I don't know if I would define that as dramatic. Like I said, I don't have specific numbers, but there was an increase in these type of scams.
Hey,
Hi.
with Channel 9. First of all, you said there have been 2,400 arrests made in letter carrier robberies and mail theft nationwide.
Yes, sir.
Since the launch of Project Safe Delivery. Do you know how many of those are specific to the Charlotte region?
I don't have numbers for the specific region. I do not. I do know that there has been, from the beginning of Project Safe Delivery, from May of 2023 till September 30th of 2024, 1,692 mail theft arrests and 342 robbery arrests. But I don't have specific numbers to this location.
Gotcha. And then when we talk about these mail carrier thefts, a lot of the things that they're taking are arrow keys. And we've heard from a lot of apartment owners, business owners, condominium owners, concerns about them using those to get into their apartment complexes to be able to take that mail. Is there anything being done specifically when it comes to those stolen arrow keys?
Yes, so you are correct that the letter carriers are targeted for U.S. postal property, and that would be the postal keys. The U.S. Postal Service is making enhancements to their boxes, to their blue boxes, that hopefully will deter the letter carriers from being targeted. I can't go into specific security measures. Some of these blue boxes and receptacles have already been deployed nationwide in certain areas, but they are working on a resolution that is going to make the key inoperable and have that not be the problem anymore for our letter carriers.
Do you know how many more of those still need to be replaced?
I do not.
Through your, obviously, investigation nationwide, finding out how many problems there has been, I assume there's been some hot button areas that have come of repeating offenses. Do you know if Charlotte has been one of them by any chance? If it ranks high against other major cities, or kind of where we are at?
I can tell you that one of the targeted surges have not been here in Charlotte. We have a great working relationship with our law enforcement partners, specifically the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department and, like I said, our Western U.S. Attorney's Office. I encourage you to take a look at that press release. We do fine work not just here but across the country. Some of those locations where these surges have taken place have been in areas such as Chicago, Los Angeles, a couple cities throughout Ohio such as Cleveland, and again, New York City. Those have been some of the more high crime targeted areas that Project Safe Delivery has deployed additional resources to catch these people.
And while we all, like you mentioned, we've all had these text messages, we've all gotten them before. Thankfully, I haven't fallen for one, or hopefully they haven't either. But some people have. You said that obviously, you can report that. But has the department heard from people specifically who have fallen for this? Have they heard stories from people who, oh yeah, I gave them all my information, now I'm having this as a result? Can you all talk about that by any chance?
I don't know across the country. As postal inspectors, we each investigate different crimes. So if you've fallen a victim to a romance scam, yes, we hear from victims every day, unfortunately. I don't have specifics to give you on those victims, but again, it does happen, and we do hear from those people.
Just to follow up, kind of behind that question, you mentioned what to do when you receive those messages as far as emailing you guys. I don't hear much about the people receiving packages, unsolicited packages.
Mm-hmm.
So when they receive those packages, what should they do in that process?
In that process, like I said, you need to report it to us. Try to return that package, and again, they're going to have your name and address and information. Just keep an eye out on that and make sure that that's not being used to further any other activity. Is the best advice.
You had mentioned earlier that there are a lot of social media initiatives that the Inspector Service has put out in order to encourage more people to tip off any potential scams that may be happening, such as the aforementioned package texts. Has that contributed in any way to the arrests that have been made?
They have been specifically talking about the rewards posters, I know, or surveillance video we have done on those Wanted Wednesday segments. If you go back through our social media, we have highlighted a couple of cases where those suspects have been captured. And speaking of my personal career, that reward information has led to arrests. So again, it is helpful, and we always seek the public's assistance for these postal crimes if we need that.
Have you found a place of origin where more a lot of these attacks are coming from? Like the cyber attacks,
I don't know.
Not a place of origin more than one place.
I think it's a variety of different places and people conducting those scams. Any other questions? All right, thank you. Thanks for coming today.
Here's the deal. On the U.S. Postal Inspection Service website, there is a role that you guys are
Some people are finding a surprise in their mailboxes. It's a check from NCDOT refunding certain late fees due to Hurricane Helene.
But some are questioning if these checks are real or if they're too good to be true. WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg verifies. We got a question from viewer Chuck M saying, I received a check from NCDOT in the amount of $25 in reference to Hurricane Helene. Is this legitimate? Let's verify. So to verify, we went to these sources: the North Carolina Department of Motor Vehicles and Executive Order 323.
It's a check that looks like this that several people are questioning. You can see it's cut from the NCDOT and references Hurricane Helene. Executive Order 323 allows the NC Division of Motor Vehicles to suspend various late fees and ease certain requirements for residents and businesses affected by Hurricane Helene. According to the NCDMV, some fees were waived from September 27th to December 31st and include duplicate or corrected vehicle titles, duplicate registration cards, replacement license plates or stickers, duplicate driver's license, and more. Many late fees were also waived during that time frame, which include late vehicle registration fees, late interest payments, title fees, and late dealer plates. According to the NCDMV, if those fees were paid and were waived by the executive order, you will receive the refund. So we can verify that yes, if you received a check from NCDOT for Hurricane Helene, it is legit.
Now, according to the NCDMV, these refunds are not given in person, just by mail. If you believe you are entitled to a refund and didn't receive one by January 17th, go to our website, WCNC.com, and we have a number you can call. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Another scam sweeping the country. Yes, texts like these telling people that they owe money to a state tolling agency. I've gotten many of these.
I've gotten one too.
Man, weird.
And fortunately, many folks are quick to dismiss these kinds of messages, but really these cases can be tricky since the state sometimes does send text messages about tolls.
So if you get one, what should you do? Well, WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg verifies.
Well, this is the text message I got to my phone saying I had unpaid tolls I needed to pay. And I'm not going to lie here, at first it took me off guard. Many others in our newsroom, as well as WCNC Charlotte viewers, also tell me they received the same thing. So what action do you need to take? Let's verify.
Our sources, the Federal Trade Commission and NC Quick Pass. According to the FTC, these texts come out of the blue and request for you to pay the toll immediately. The text may also show you a dollar amount for how much you supposedly owe and include a link that takes you to a page where you enter your bank or credit card info. NC Quick Pass says it only sends texts from the number 696277 and does not request payments through text. The FTC says don't fall for this phishing scam. Don't click on any links in or respond to unexpected texts. Scammers want you to react quickly, so it's best to stop and check it out. You can also check to see if the text is legit by reaching out to North Carolina's tolling agency. There are some options to report this. You can use the junk option on your message thread, or you can forward them to 7726, which will also report the message. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
WCNC Charlotte is making a difference with your help. When you share your news tips, we go to work.
I sent you that email. 15 minutes later, you're responding to me.
When a Charlotte woman battling cancer lost her health coverage, we demanded answers.
Within hours of WCNC Charlotte asking questions, the agency responsible quickly corrected its mistake.
Let us get to work for you.
Reach out to news tips at WCNC.com. WCNC Charlotte, news that impacts you.
Charlotte Mayor Vi Lyles joins us now from the Government Center in Uptown. Mayor, good to see you again.
It's good to be with you and your audience, Ben.
So fill us in. Where do we stand right now with the transit plan? I know timing is critical at this point. You've got to get approval by state lawmakers if we want to get this 1-cent sales tax on the November ballot. How are we progressing?
Well, we're continuing to define what we're trying to do, and especially so that we can be easily, if we get the opportunity to have this referendum, we want to make sure that people understand what we're trying to accomplish, which is number one, for all of our communities. If you think about how we have not had the opportunity to increase infrastructure, it has been something that we really will begin to think about. So we're talking about congestion and traffic and safety, and trying to make sure that people understand that these are opportunities for us to actually have better management of how we get to work, or how we plan for infrastructure. How do we do much of this? So I believe that, we're still working on the red line, the better bus program, so that people can come and ride our buses in safety and be, I think it ought to be something like when you see it in Europe, that you have a safe and clean place on a bus. So we're trying to get all of that put together. But more importantly, we've had really great discussions with many of the people in the legislature. And our hope is that we will continue to work with them and see them, let them see how much of a difference this could make for our economy as well. We're talking about roads and we're talking about trains. And that's what we want people to understand.
To that point, you guys have spent years talking about this and working on this. We're talking about billions of dollars. The price tag keeps on going up just because that's the way inflation works right now. But to your point, though, you need the General Assembly's okay. And that has, as you know, been evasive up until this point. Do you, right now, have any real tangible reason to believe your new efforts have won over Republican lawmakers in Raleigh?
Ben, I can't say what the Republicans in Raleigh are going to say and do, but I do believe that we have put forth an effort that shows them the opportunities that it provides. And it's because we've joined in with the entire region. Charlotte is a region now. So when you're talking about what we want to do, it's not just because of what we're going to do inside our city limits, but think about what Cornelius and Davison are doing in terms of their own infrastructure and their needs. So as we continue to grow, and we're going to grow in terms of a region, we have to work together for every part of it. It's not just Charlotte. I think that would probably be difficult. It's always been our difficulty, is if when we go by ourselves, we don't get things done. When we go with the region, I think there's real potential for access for our legislators to understand that this is a region. This is something that we have to do together.
If a referendum doesn't make it to the ballot this year, what happens? Is there a backup plan?
Next year is a backup plan. So if we can't do it this year, but we get the permission, we will put it on the ballot for our voters to decide if this is something that they believe that will have a good economic impact, that we will have better safety, and we will have better roads and buses.
You told me a few years ago,
as well as an extension to the Blue Line. We're going to extend the Blue Line as well.
Gotcha. You told me a few years ago that you felt like affordable housing was the most pressing issue facing Charlotte. The city has made inroads because of that. Do you feel like affordable housing is still the most pressing issue here?
What I've learned, I probably shouldn't have said that. That's what I should have learned with you, Ben. I would say that we cannot wait and choose one need over another. We're trying to work on a need that actually addresses all of these opportunities for us. The city is growing. Our growth is so extensive and people are coming. And so we can't choose one thing. I think that in terms of what my career has been about, affordable housing is absolutely one of the closest things that I do, but you can't